Good evening, everybody, and welcome. My name is Ricky. So here, and we are fixing to get ready to have our live show here. Let's talk air guns. I want to see if everything's working right before we just jump right in. I want to thank the folks that are already here, ready and waiting. Hopefully, we're going to have
Good
a
evening,
everybody,
and welcome.
My name's Let me turn that down. We are fixing to get ready to have our live show here. Let's talk air guns. I want to see if everything's working right before we just jump ready right here. Ready. I want to thank the folks that are already here, ready and wait. It helps if you mute the YouTube window. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start the show. All right, welcome everybody. It's Let's Talk Air Guns, and we are here to, I think, get into kind of an interesting topic. It started out as several emails I've gotten, as far maybe YouTube comments I've gotten recently over the last few days, that we started to release out our Airgun Expo content. I'm going to pull that up here on a different screen. Now, we are going to be doing things differently. Let me talk about that first. Hey there, Angie. We are going to be, this is my doctor's office calling me. I don't know why they're calling me again. And, oh yeah, we'll talk to them later. They always call me on Tuesday. I'm not supposed to have an appointment, but maybe they think I am. Anyway, yeah, let's get back to it here. We are going to probably start having this show once a month here on YouTube, and then we're going to probably do other stuff live down at the range. That's going to be more interactive. In other words, I'm going to probably be doing some live demos and stuff, and I can't do that here on YouTube, but we will then republish that content. I'm not quite sure how that schedule is going to play out. I've got a bunch of stuff happening this month. I've got a couple weeks, maybe like 3 weeks, and then 2 weeks, I guess 2 weeks, and we're going to be heading to the Daisy Nationals. So we'll be there. Then we'll go into South Carolina, and then we're going to be heading back here. So it's going to be kind of a shuffled up month and a bit till we're like back and like here for a while. But yeah, we'll just try and keep you guys in the loop. I'm trying to think of what's going to be the best way to like have a schedule or something, like a calendar up and about that you guys can see. So if you have some ideas, let me know, and we can put it on the website, or one of the things I want to do, and if you haven't signed up, you can go ahead and sign up for our newsletter. We're going to start using that regularly again. So I expect that that's going to be something we ramp up here as we get through this little bit of a crunch at the moment. All right. So one of the questions we've been getting has been centered around what airgun should I buy? And people are starting to get into airgunning and PCPs and all kinds of things. One of the great guns from the expo happened to be, I thought it was a great gun, the Umarex Komplete. It was a great option for people that don't want to have a bunch of gear. They want the power, the ease of shooting. They want the accuracy of a PCP. They want all that, but they don't want to have to buy a pump. They don't want to buy a tank. They don't want to have to buy a compressor. They don't want any of that. They just want to be able to shoot. And the Komplete certainly does that. I could definitely see them transitioning that platform into a whole series of guns. So right now they've got a basic entry-level gun. I have no idea if they're going to do this. Just I'm thinking out loud. They could do some really nice, fun air guns in that sort of platform and really build it out. So just because they have the one model, I could definitely see them expanding that out to some really cool stuff. Anyway, we'll see if that happens or not. But it's definitely an air gun that gets, I think, gives a level of access to more people wanting to get into air gunning and shooting. I apologize. I need to probably track something to drink here. Let's see if I can get, I think my wife's still in the kitchen. Let me see if I can have her bring me some tea. Need tea. With a smiley face. Maybe she'll bring me a glass of tea. Anyway, so some of the folks have been asking about like the new Macavity, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pull those. I got some photos of that. Let me go ahead and pull those up here. So the Macavity is it is a super nice air gun. Those are some good pictures. Let me go back here. I've got a bunch that I took for Expo, and I can share them with you guys. What's really nice about this gun is its price point, and I mean, out of the box, it just worked really, really well. So here we go. We'll start with these right here. Let me switch over to this screen here. Okay, so this is the Macavity, right? This is the... All right, I'm chatting with my wife here. There we go. So this is the Macavity. This is the MA2. We had 3 versions of it. We had the 22, 25, and 30. And this is one of those guns that's just out of the box performed. We didn't need to do anything. Didn't need to mess with it, muck with it at all. We just took it out of the box and started shooting. And it gave us really decent performance, the 22, 25, and 30. Now, some folks may say the 32 or the 30 is underpowered. And depends on what you're doing, right? If you're just target shooting out to 75 or 100 yards, it's plenty. If you're looking to hunt coyote or like predators or medium game, okay, so you may want something with more power, something like the Gauntlet or something, the G2 side lever. But out of the box, the thing just worked great. It was a really nice gun. In fact, it's the gun, if you guys, as we're releasing all the videos, if you guys want to jump, though, you got to get ahead of it. If you go to our Airgun Expo, it's the airgunexpo.com. Let me just drop that in the chat. Okay, so if you go here, you can actually click here and you can see all of the videos from the Expo. Now, if you take a look, it's over 40 pieces of content we created over the 5 days. So it was a ton of work. It was a lot of fun. And you can go through and see videos on the Komplete, the MA2, the JTS, the Avenge-X guns, and my wife absolutely loved the Macavity. In fact, her favorite gun of the whole Expo was this rifle. With that rifle with that scope, she pretty much claimed it. So, yeah, pretty awesome that it was something that inspired her to want to actually get at the bench and do some shooting. So that is very cool. The question, and it looks like Airgun Angie's kind of put it up here. The question about the Macavity, which kind of compare and contrast to, say, let me switch over to a different, go back over here. If we compare and contrast that over to, say, like the Avenge-X, right? Let me pull that up. Because that's the comparison people are asking about. Should I buy the Macavity? Should I wait for that to come out? Or should I buy the Avenge-X? And really, the question I have is, what kind of shooting do you want to do? Both guns, I think, have a real potential to be suitable. If you think that you may want to do some tinkering, or you want to change barrels, or just do all that kind of stuff. Now, I've been in this for a long time, and I've had a lot of people that come. I want to be able to change calibers. I want this. I want that. I want that. And they'll go and buy the gun, but then you got to buy the crony. Then you got to buy the next thing. You got to buy the next thing, and they really wind up never actually using any of that functionality. So you kind of, I mean, people buy based on a maybe. That's not a great way to spend your money. You want to really buy the product that gives you what you need, actually with some margin, right? So with some headroom. The other mistake a lot of people make is they buy a gun based on, like, not what it can do, but what people say it could do potentially with enough work. That's never a good purchase, because your skill level or the gun's ability to actually get there. I see it all the time in the computer industry too. They buy a processor, they buy a gaming system based on, well, you can overclock it and this and that. And then you get, well, what if none of that works, right? Then you've got something that doesn't actually do what you want. So you're much better off looking for a product that actually exceeds what you need it to do or what you want it to do, rather than buying something here and then, well, I'll just do these upgrades and then it'll do what I want. This part seldom works. I mean, it does sometimes, obviously, but you're barking up the wrong tree. I can tell you from experience, again, 18 years in the business, that I in the very beginning, boy, did I do that. I'd save $1 and I'll just do this. I never was happy. well, not never. There was a few times I had some success, but most of the time it was counterproductive. I would just say if there's a bar you want to hit, make sure whatever you're looking at exceeds that bar, and then you're probably going to be happy with it. You may have to spend some more out of the gate, but you'll be happy with it. So really kind of the two options folks have been asking me about is the Avenge-X. Do I get the Avenge-X? Well, the Avenge-X is a great gun, and we're going to be circling back around to that gun very shortly. Was going to actually use it during the expo, but there's a little relief valve in there, and it blew. So right when I was filling it up to be able to, I was actually do a pre-recorded video. The doggone fill it up, and I hear this air just whizzing out of it. And it was the little relief plug. I got a new one. It's fine. So not a big deal. Let's see. And Angie's talking about, yes, the Macavity that my wife likes so much. That is officially her gun now. So yeah, and I'm actually looking forward to getting out in the range and doing some shooting. We were going to try and do some shooting today and do some recording, but we were out very late last night with the Civil Air Patrol event, and so we did. It was not going to happen. Today's been one of those days where it's just been slow and it's really hot out. We have like heat advisories. It's going to be a fun couple weeks, I think. Anyway, but back to this discussion. I'm curious what you guys prefer. Now, a couple questions. One, do you buy an air gun based on these are my needs, this air gun meets my needs, that's the gun I'm going to get? Or do you buy air guns based on what it could potentially do? Or do you buy air guns, like in other words, you buy it here expecting to get it here maybe? Or do you buy an air gun that exceeds what you need it to do? So if I need like reliable hunting at 50 yards, maybe I'll buy a 75-yard gun so that I know at 50 yards I'm good to go. So I'm curious, how do you guys, when you guys are looking at air guns, how do you buy? And what sort of information do you guys look at that really lets you know, all right, that's the gun that I need to get? So just to contrast, in my mind, the kind of different directions people could take. I'm personally, I'm an out of the box shooter. And you guys, if you watch my videos, I do a lot of take it out of the box, throw scope on it and shoot it. And I video it and I show you guys what we get right out of the box. So it's not, we don't go through a whole bunch of stuff to try and get it ready to video. Look, I want you guys to have the same sort of, I want to show you the experience that you're probably going to have when you get the gun. You take it out of the box, you shoot it. I want you guys to kind of get a feel of what that's going to be like. The Macavity really did well right out of the box. I mean, all of the guns, yeah, Luther's dreaming about another gun. Yeah, I get it. The Macavity was one of those out of the box, really nice air guns. JTS has been that way. The Avenger's kind of like that, although with the adjustability, on the Avenger, we're going to get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so like the Macavities were just tuned to shoot. Let's see, I got a few more pictures, I'm pretty sure here. Let me see. Yeah, let's show a few of these pictures. So the cool thing about the Macavity is it's lightweight. It's just set up to run. You just scope it and shoot it, right? There was no extra work involved. We did have to put the stock on, but not a big deal. I didn't have to tune the trigger, didn't have to adjust anything. All I did was fill it, put pellets in it, and shoot it. And we had immediate success. Even like everybody that sat down and shot the gun the gun would perform for them. They could actually shoot the gun effectively. Right-handed, left-handed. My wife is right-handed, left eye dominant. So she shoots left-handed. And she had no problem shooting the gun, hitting really teeny tiny targets at 50 yards and even stretching it out further. There was no work involved. Now, is that the kind of shooting you want to do? There's lots of guns that'll give you that. A couple brands that I've thought of, a couple guns specifically that I've shot that were like that. One was like the FX Wildcat, awesome. Just out of the box was beautiful. Day State Revere, Huntsman Revere, awesome. Right out of the box. The JTS Aracuda Max, out of the box, just awesome. Didn't have to do anything. Just take them out of the box and shoot them. Air them up, put pellets in them, and they just were reliable, good shooting air guns. Let's see. Looks like Angie's saying, I do like at least a hammer spring adjustment, be able to up the power a little for the possibility of tightening up groups with heavier pellets. I like a little adjustability, but I'm also like take the Gambo Coyote Whisper, for example. That's an out of the box. Gosh, we shot the 177. We were hitting at 100 yards in the wind with a 177. That has like no adjustment. You just take it out and shoot it. That's actually my preference. I just like a gun to work. I don't want to have to put a lot of energy into it. I don't want to have to do a bunch of tweaking, a bunch of fussing. I just want to scope it, air it, fill it, and shoot it. That's what I'm looking. That's what I'm looking for. Hey, I have a lemon tea delivery from my daughter. Oh, thank you, hon. Okay, she's getting ready to go away for like 2 or 3 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. Angie's going to be down your way. So there you go. Oh, that really hits the spot. Okay. Perfect. But let's move on now to, say, a tinkerer's gun. And I'm going to back up a little bit because one of the tinkerer's guns that I was connected with like right at the beginning, you guys that have been around for a while, I mean, you guys remember the Marauder? I mean, that's a tinkerer's gun. Now, it wasn't like the Avenge-X and those stuff, but the Marauder was really designed for an enthusiast to have a lot of opportunities, a lot of potential to go in and tweak and turn and all kinds of things. Had a hammer spring adjuster, had a valve port adjustment, had a hammer throw adjuster, had an adjustable trigger, had all these really cool things. You had to take it all apart to do all that stuff. But it was like the first gun I ever really had that allowed you to really just slide the scale. I could go for shot count. I could go for power. I could make that adjustment in my gun. It could do a lot of different things. And so I kind of cut my teeth. This would have been, had to have been 2008, 2009, maybe 2009, when I got the Marauder, because I bought the Disco first. I actually bought my Discovery with the pump. That was my introduction to PCPs that I owned and shot regularly. Then I went to the Marauder. It was amazing. It was like just, you know, today it's like a nothing gun, but back in the day, it was the gun. And it was quiet. It just had it checked all the incredible boxes that I didn't even know you could have back then. But it was pretty cool. And again, I didn't like hand pumping, so I would fill it to 2,000 PSI, but I had my gun tuned so I could shoot a few mags at 2,000. I didn't have to go to 3,000. So you had this flexibility with a gun like that. And that was my sort of introduction into tuning. No regulator, none of that stuff, just tuning the valve and the hammer spring and the hammer throw to get the results you want. It was very, very cool. And then I sort of stepped away from that whole thing. Personally, these days, like I said, I like out of the box, just work air guns. I guess let me take that back. Generally speaking, because how can I put it? If there's like one knob, okay, so Angie's talking about a hammer spring adjuster. Okay, if there's like one adjustment that then does like the gamut, and like I'm thinking of the Western air guns, the Rattler that I have, the 30 cal, that's a one gun. You just click it. If you've got a crony, if you spec your gun out, all right, so many clicks is going to work for this pellet, so many more clicks is going to work for this slug. You can bottom it out, go down to 0, and then bring it up to where you want. The Hubin's the exact same way. The Hubin is one screw, you're done, and you have that adjustment range. I'm not having to like adjust a rag and change, I'm not having to do any of that stuff. There's just a knob you turn. Another example of that might be like the Samyang's, the Eagle Claws. I have a little roller at the bottom. You have to have a crony. All of this stuff, the thing that you got to know, if you want to get into the tinkerer's world, you got to have a crony. If you don't have a crony, you don't know what your gun's doing. You're just blind turning knobs and you don't know what you got. So if you're going to do that before you do anything, get yourself a crony. Now, I've just got the True Ballistics crony from Utah Airguns, which is awesome. It's amazing. I love it. I've had the FX Pocket crony. That's been really good. I've had the Pro Chrono Digital Deluxe, which has been really good. It has some limitations on that one because it uses optical sensors versus radar. And I've got the Nate Crony coming in, which is something I'm really excited about because that just goes on a 1/2 UNF. You have an adapter, throw the Crony on, and now you're shooting right through your Crony. So I'm super excited to see how that turns out. I should have that in the next couple of weeks. We'll be definitely demoing that. But you got to have a Crony. If you don't have a Crony, don't go for anything that you don't expect that you're going to tinker and have any success. You're going to want to go with just out of the box kind of an air gun. Again, the Macavities, JTSs, something like the FX Wildcat has a hammer adjuster at the back, which is nice. You can adjust the reg and get deep into it that way, but you also just have a knob at the back, which works great. So you have that as an option. So yeah, back to this whole thing. What do you guys like? I bet you if you're an enthusiast in your mind, you say, I want the adjustability. My next question is, how often do you adjust your rifle once you've got it dialed in? So that would be my next question. So let me look at some comments here. Let's see. Yeah, Angie's talking about the Rattler. Yeah, the Rattler was a really cool gun. That gun and 30 cal goes. I thought I got like upwards. Was it 170? I want to say like 170 foot-pounds out of that thing. So it would go from like 60 or 65 to 170 just with turning the knob. And it took big old slugs. It was a great, I mean, that's a really fun gun to shoot. Semi-automatic, it's a really, really nice gun. So that I don't mind so much. Just that one knob adjustment. But you get like over to the Avenge-X, and I will just pull it up again so you guys can see it. So the Avenge-X is super popular, and this is the question people are asking me. The comments I were getting is, should I buy the Avenge-X or should I wait for the Macavity? And again, I'm going to come back is what kind of shooting are you going to do? Are you just target shooting? Do you see yourself needing to, I'm going to shoot pellets today, but I need to shoot slugs tomorrow. So I got to be able to turn it up and turn it down and chop and change. What kind of shooting you're going to do? If you're just punching paper and you're shooting steel targets, or maybe you're pesting, or you're doing some hunting within the range of the factory configuration. Personally, my advice is just go with a out of the box gun. That's my 2 cents. Not saying I'm right. That I'm not saying that's right for everybody, but that's my 2 cents. Generally speaking, once you start turning knobs and flipping things around, it can be tough to find that sweet spot. And unless you're just invested in the process and you love to do it, it's usually just a lot nicer to take the gun out of the box and shoot it. Now, the Avenge-X, Rich is saying he can't seem to find the adjustment screw on my Magnum Springers. Rich, what you got to do? You got to make a Springer where you have interchangeable transfer port limiters. So you have this big open transfer port, and you just screw in the one to dial it in, right? That's how you do it. So you limit how much air comes out. So I'm pretty sure if you took some time, you could get a way to just change the inserts out. In fact, there was a gun that Tom Gaylord had one time at one of the American Airgunners. It was a very expensive gun from England, and the guy built it, and he had to build it to 12 foot-pounds, but it came with an insert in the transfer port that when you got to the States, you took it out and it was full power. So I know it can be done, so that's how you tune your Springer, just for what it's worth. Anyway, man, you could do it. Derek's saying he's loving his LCS SK-119. I shot one. I mean, I know that you have the Hubin, you have the LCS, and you have the Western Airguns, and they're all very, very similar. I've shot all three, actually, because I have the Western Airguns, I've shot the LCS, and I have a Hubin as well. My preference across all three is the Hubin. There's no monetary incentive for me to say that. New England Airguns is a sponsor. Airguns of Arizona is a sponsor, and I don't know who's doing the LCS now, but I mean, there's no monetary involvement there. My personal preference, having shot all three and owning two, is the Hubin is hands down for me, the nicer airgun personally. At least I have the 25, and it's really, really nice. So the Air Venturi Avenge-X, let's just get into that. That gun is, boy, you talk about, you know, if you are into tinkering and you've got a chronograph and you've got plenty of time and you've got a compressor and, right? So you've got all the goodies and fun stuff that's going to let you just sit on your back porch and let all the air out, adjust your reg, put the air back in, and have fun. Avenge-X is actually a really nice option. It gives you the same sort of wide adjustability that you get like in an FX Impact, but I mean, not as fine-tuned, I don't think, anywhere near it, because my Impact M Mark III has 2 regulators. It has the big plenum. It has the hammer spring, fine adjustment, coarse adjustment. It's got a lot going on there. Once I get, LCS, like we said, is the LCS still still produced? I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. I know there was some we'll call them legal discussions back and forth with, I don't know how any of that stuff is. It's not on my radar, nor do I care to know. But I don't know if they're still making it. The LCS experience I had, one I shot leaked. And then the other one, I don't know. I couldn't wrap myself around it. I didn't like the trigger on it. The Western big bore or Western Airguns Rattler 30 that I have, that's actually, I like the trigger. Now on full auto, I hate it. I won't even flip that switch that way. But semi-auto, it's quite nice. But I'll go back to that whole form factor. My preference is the Hubin. If you haven't shot a Hubin, if you ever want to, come on out. We'll get you on the bench and try one out. But yeah, it is to me, it's better. Rich is saying I want to make a Magnus Bringer with an adjustable gas ram, not adjusting gas pressure, something like strokeling. Interesting concept. Okay, back on the Avenge-X. So I got my Avenge-X in 177, and as I normally do, pulled it out of the box, put a scope on it, went to the range, did some shooting. And it was shooting really hot. I mean, really, really, really hot. Now, I think we'll have a picture here. Yeah, there we go. The Avenge-X actually has a little, I can't make it bigger. Oh, well. They have like a pressure gauge. Do they have a picture of it? Yeah, there it is. So you have a pressure gauge on the Avenge-X. Now, my first video, I just shot some pellets and I shot some slugs just out of the box on high. And it's high. I mean, it was shooting, I think reg was set like 2200 or something like that. When it settled down, if it sits, it tends to want to creep and get a little more pressure. You take a couple shots and it sort of settles down and stays there for a while. But on high, it was too fast. It was too much velocity for the pellets. When I switched to the slugs, they went from like mediocre to like pinky nail. And I was like, okay, yeah, that'll work. G-Man is saying, Rick, in the budget category, there's now a Crossman Prospect. I actually have one, guys. I've got a Crossman Prospect that came in. I'm writing an article for Airgun Depot. I'm going to need it for a few weeks. We might do a video sort of off the books. But yes, that is an interesting gun. Have you guys seen it? Let me pull it up. Of course, we might want to say, is it now the Gammo Daisy Benjamin Center Point Crossman? I don't know who it is now. So there is the new Prospect. I have one. It's sitting in the box down at the range. Looks like a nice gun. I mean, it looks like a typical PCP synthetic air gun. I'm curious how they did that. Okay, so that magazine looks like a Beam and Mag. So I'm wondering who they're getting to make this. Looks like it was a power adjuster. Looks like a Beam and magazine. That looks like a Beam and magazine. Craftsman doesn't, well, I can't say they don't make anything anymore. A lot of their stuff isn't made here. So it's made by third parties, whether it's BAM or SAG or one of these other folks. I don't know who's making it, but we'll see. I have it. We'll see how it shoots. It should be a fun gun. So $400. That's going to be probably, I'm thinking, a non-tinkering gun. Just transfer port power. So it's got a power wheel. So it's got a wheel adjustment. It doesn't have taking apart gaugey reg. It's not like a reg and all that other stuff you got to muss with. It's just a transfer port adjuster. I don't mind those so much. I don't mind, even if the Macavity could have that. I don't mind that so much. The transfer port adjuster or the power adjuster, like on the Hubins or the Senecas or those, I don't mind those. Those are fine. I see that as like an out of the box thing. And if I've got to go grab an Allen wrench and degas stuff and all, that's where I start sort of going, that's a tinkerer's gun. If I have to go get an Allen wrench and degas it and then muck with a reg screw and all that stuff, I call that a tinkerer's gun. But if there's just a knob, like the air arms is like click, 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 and you're done, I don't call that tinkering really, personally. That's just my own definition. Anyway, back to the Avenge-X. So the Avenge-X, if we start like with the Marauder and we jump forward to like the Avenger was like in this. Yeah, Derek's saying the Cross Prospect looks like a Barra 1100Z and a Crossman icon. The 1100Z's, I think, made by the same folks that make the Beeman guns, just with their changes to it. Look, a lot of this stuff is made in a factory in China and they slap a label on it. It's made to whatever specifications that company is having it built to. So it's sort of like Benjamin's Turkish walnut class, the Caden and the whatever the other, Akela and stuff. Those were made by Kroll. I really like those guns, by the way. I still have a couple new in the box. Anyway, so you take something like the Avenge-X, go to the Avenger. And the Avenger gave us an adjustable reg, just with a screw. Gave us dual gauges, adjustable reg, and adjustable hammer spring. It was probably the simplest tinkerer's gun that I'd ever experienced. It was awesome. I could take it out of the box, shoot it, and then I could let all the air out, turn my reg all the way down to like minimal levels, gas it back up, and then didn't matter what caliber, I could begin giving a quarter turn on the reg, and you could just watch the gauge go up, take a few shots, see if it's stable, great. And then you crony it, and you'd get like, there'd be like a place, of course the way I would do it is I would turn my hammer spring all the way in as far as it would go reasonably. So I'm hitting that valve as hard as I can. And then I would tune it for like max power. And then I decide if I'm going to back that off. I could back it off. From there, I could back off the hammer spring. And that became my adjustment, quote unquote, from there. So that's how I would set my gun up when I was doing it. I'm not saying that's the best way. It's just how I did it, right? So I turned the hammer spring on all the way. So I had max hammer impact on the valve. I would degas it, get the reg set the min, fill it up, and then begin to turn the reg up. And at about 12 or 1300 psi, I'd start shooting pellets and see what my velocity was. And at some point, you've turned it up, and you're getting is what you're going to get. You can try and go more. You guys should turn it up more, but you're getting no benefit. So at that point, it's sort of diminishing returns. So now you go back and say, all right, so at like 1400 psi, that's the sweet spot. And then if you wanted to, you could adjust your power just by the hammer spring, and you remember your turns and that stuff. So that's how I used my Avenger in the day when I tuned in. Now, the Avenger was 177, 22, or 25, right? It wasn't one gun and everything. Then came on the Avenge-X. Now, I think actually for an out of the box, just decent gun, I think the Avenger is still a really good gun. And you don't have to tinker with it if you don't want to. G-Man, I haven't even taken it out of the box yet, bro. I got it in before Expo or during Expo, and I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. I did for Airgun Depot since I had it. Looks like we got a streaming problem. Sorry if we cut out. I apologize, guys. Uh, um, on the at the Expo, I had gotten in the Complete, so Airgun Depot asked me if I would do an article on it. So I've got an article going to be coming out on their website for the Complete. I really like that gun. Talked about that earlier. And then I've got to do that one. I've got the Braun from JTS, and I've got the Prospect. So we've got several. I think, cool guns that will be coming out on the article side for Airgun Depot. So keep your eyes open for that if you guys like reading articles. Okay, so I've got pulled up over here the Avenger, and this gun right here, I personally considering just buying this gun, probably in 22. I love the wood stock. I love this. I really like this. I don't know if they have something like this, the Avenge-X, with that laminate stock. Let me look. But that's something that I would put my own money to have. They don't have. See, this, to me, that's boring. That's boring. It's just me. That's boring. This is pretty. See, that looks very, very pretty to me. I would want that. I don't know if I have the cash to pick that up right now, but that would be, to me, I like the looks of that, and I would think that, gosh, for that price, that's a hell of a price for the wood stock and everything. That's like camo laminate. That looks really, 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 really good. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, out of the box, I'm not a fan of the original plastics. But the bullpup was nice. The woodstock was nice. Yeah, I mean, this was like the start. Now, we jump over to the Avenge-X and everything changes, right? So you still have the same adjustability. You have a reg adjustment. You have dual gauges, reg adjustment, hammer spring adjustment. But now you can change caliber, you can change bottle, you change air source, change stock. It really kind of goes crazy. And I think a lot of people in their mind think, if I get that gun, I won't need to buy anything else. Well, it's sort of like, if I buy that computer, I won't need to buy anything else. Well, I've got next video I do over there on that part of the studio for my tech stuff. You'll see that story doesn't fly either. If you're into this for a hobby, you're going to buy another air gun. Just saying. But I am curious as to, let's see. Marine Dad, is there any online stores that sells used PCPR rifles? Thank you, Angie, for pointing that out. Gateway to Airguns has a classified, so Gateway doesn't sell anything. But there are members that there's a classified section if you care to. And then I think a bunch of vendors actually have, used or refurbished guns. So Pyramid Air has refurbished Airguns of Arizona. I'm not sure if Utah does, but you could probably call any of them and ask them what they have in their discount pile, and I'm sure that they'll have something to probably hook you up with. So just make some phone calls. It's not a difficult thing to do. Angie likes the synthetic Avenger, the super lightweight plastic one. Yeah, she's running around the woods like she's saying, hunting squirrels. She likes that thin and light one. And I think that's where I'm hoping that the not the Avenge-X, I'm hoping that the Macavity really is something that does it, because I would want to weigh what the Avenger is, like the synthetic Avenger or the Macavity, because the Macavity in 22, the 22 short is less than 6 pounds. You put a nice lightweight optic on it, and you've got a really nice toting around the woods kind of gun. I think that'd be fun. I don't know what the Avenger weighs. I guess I could look it up. Let's see. It'll be this guy here, and let's see. It is Specs. Weight 6.4 pounds. It's a little bit heavier than the Macavity. So interesting. And that is the synthetic one. So yeah. Anyway, very aggressive pricing though, right? I think Angie, you also like the you like the Aircuda Standard. Gosh, we shot that with the buck rail kit. This was a great video. Let me go back over to here. And we did, it was just a GTA. Okay, so let me go to the calendar. It'll be on here. We did the Aircuda Standard. Here it is, right here. We did this. This video was pretty awesome. So the Aircuda Standard in the buck rail kit was really fun. I'm going to throw this up over here. I don't know if this link will come through, folks, but if you want to, that's a really fun combo. Super, super light and fun. So, yeah. Angie's saying she cries if she scratches the Aircuda woodstock. Just take out the woodstock, put it in the buck rail kit, and you're good to go, right? So, yeah. I guess this really identifies kind of the whole point of the video today, is that everybody has a different reason they're looking at whatever airgun they like, right? So I'm not running around the woods, swinging from the vines like Angie does, hunting squirrels and iguanas. And you should have seen her in Florida. She's here, so she can defend herself if she wants to. But we were across this sort of pond. We were at a golf course, and we were across the pond, and I'm hearing this screaming and yelling and swearing. Oh, yes, Angie swears. At iguanas as she's running through behind the bushes and through. Oh, man, it sounded like she was going to get that iguana. It was pretty funny. It was pretty hilarious. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be taking my nice Red Wolf or something in that brush like that, or my Day State Dream Tack with the really long barrel that's unsupported, or any of that kind of stuff. It may come out like a U or a V, or it'd shoot around corners after the running through the woods. But anyway, it does matter what you're going to do. So I think one of the cool things that we have today, when I talk about it's a great time to be an air gunner, gosh, man, if I go all the way back to 2008-ish, I've got my hands on like a B50 it was a BAM B50. I think I might have got it through a company who's no longer in business called Compasico. They were a big online dealer at the time. They were bought by Pyramid Air, I think before I left South Carolina, so it must have been 2009 or ish or whatever. Maybe it was just after. Anyway, but they had a BAM B50, which is where did I get it from? Truman or Zisco? I don't know. It was the first PCP I ever really handled and shot. And then I bought the Disco. And then we had unless you wanted to spend a lot of money and really not understanding any of the mechanics, it was this unattainable thing. PCPs were this unattainable thing in my mind. Then I got the Disco, and then it all changed. It just all completely changed. And then the Marauder came out, all completely changed. And there began to be a couple options. Now, oh my gosh, you can't throw a rock now and not hit an affordable PCP somewhere. Macavity is a new one coming on, but JTS came out. Pyramid Air with their Avenger came out. Crossman has their stuff. Barra has their stuff. There is just, I wonder if I were to, let's do pellet guns, pellet rifles. Can I do filter? Can I do power plant, PCP? Seriously, there's only 7? I don't think so. Probably based on my, all right, so let's get out of here. Let's go back to the home page. Okay, here, pellet guns, pellet rifles, filter, and PCP. PCP CO2. That was obviously the wrong choice. Okay, so this one. So we got 237 options. I wonder if we could choose price. We'll choose this one. And this is below $500. We have 43 results. Yeah. Let's see. So if we were to sort this by price, low to high. All right. I did an article on the Crossman 3622. Boy, you talk about entry level. That is the definition of entry level, let me tell you. It shoots okay, but it's entry level. Then we have the complete. But these are, we've got a couple that are under 200. We get over here, we get into the Gamma Arrow is a really good gun. The Bara is a really good gun. I don't know anything about the Stoger. The Beeman QB Chief is not bad. It has its moments. The Beeman Underlever is really good. The Commander is pretty good. Don't know anything about the Nemesis. The Crossman Icon, I haven't shot it. The Notos is a great gun. The Victus, hated that gun. The Dar, decent gun. Sig, the trigger is what it is. Haven't shot the Flash. Back to the Arrow. Urban's a good gun. I did think, no, I haven't shot the Hydra. Looks like they dropped the price on that. The Arracuda's a good gun. We're at $320 and we're into something like that. And I don't know about you, but that is a nice looking air gun. And we shot that, I think, trying to remember if that's the gun we did. I did so many videos during Expo. I wonder if that's the gun that we did the how to shoot. It must have been how to shoot an unregulated gun and get the most out of it. But I think it was that one. I don't remember. It would have been in the buck rail kit, but nonetheless, just a super nice gun. So, is it normal to have 100 guns? Probably not. Yeah, probably not normal. I don't claim to be normal. That's all right, Angie. I wasn't sure. Angie said she should have come on the show, and I should have had her up. I wasn't sure if I was going to do the show tonight because last week I was talking about doing one once a month and then trying to get a schedule out so that people had it. But I had so many people responding to the videos because we're going to be releasing on YouTube all the stuff we shot live during the expo. So we're going to have a video a day for the next 2 weeks, or week, 2.5 weeks maybe, because we shot some, I don't know, 16, 17. We shot a bunch of videos live. So we're going to be putting those out over the next couple weeks, one a day. So you guys are going to get caught up on some cool airgun content, as well as I've got other stuff that's coming out. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. Anyway, but the Arracuda at 320, there's a hair in my eye. It's a sweet gun. It's just a really sweet gun. We go back here, we keep going up the price scale. Then we hit the Mauser's I may have one of those. That's kind of a cool looking gun. It's nothing more than a novelty really, but it's cool looking. We got the Origin's a good gun. Prospect, we got to shoot that. The Arracuda Max is a good gun. The Gauntlet SL. All right, that's an amazing. And I'm looking at this right here. This laminate, man, I've got it. Oof. I really want that gun. I don't know. I need it like I need another freaking hole in my head, but I really like it. Anyway, the Braun is decent. I don't like the ergonomics, but that's why there's something different for Angie saying, I thought you do it once a month. There's just both the chat. Yeah, sorry, just last minute choice, Angie. Here we are. I mean, we have all of these guns, including some pretty nice combos. So here's a Hawk hard shell case Avenger. combo for $500. And we've got like 43 air guns for under PCP air guns for under $500. That includes regulated guns too. So I'm not sure where they start on the regulated, but probably this Avenger, the Umarex Origins, not regulated, but it acts like one with the gas ram booster in it. Yeah, I don't. If it was a prospect, it's not regulated, is it? Let's see. No, it doesn't say regulated, so I'm guessing it isn't. I don't know anything about it yet. I gotta dig into the details so I know more about it. Just transfer a port power wheel. Doesn't say it's regulated. I'm guessing it's not. It doesn't specifically say it's probably not. Okay. Let's see. I think hopefully that's been useful. I think you guys sort of get the point. I hope. Right? So you're looking at what airgun should you buy? Oh man, I guess it all depends. Back to the beginning. What are you going to use it for? If you just want to shoot, then I would say look for something that's just an out-of-the-box shooter. If you are a hobbyist that enjoys tinkering and doesn't mind the extra time and effort, you don't mind spending the extra money on the gear needed to be successful at all the tinkering and tweaking, then I would say go for something that at least gives you the option. I don't know of another gun on the market right now that, for the price point, beats the Avenge-X. It's just really good. Once I detuned my 177, man, it was nice. And then I was able to use the tune with the switch on the side, high and low. I love that it's just high power or low power. And all the low power did was just kind of detune it a little bit. So I can shoot slugs, put it on low power, I shoot pellets, and it was beautiful. That's in 177. I have it rigged up for 22 now, so I need to take it out and do some shooting. But I really like that option, if that's what you're into. And, gosh, you can change caliber to stock, everything else. I don't know of another airgun that brings that to the table and that capacity. Gosh, from trying to think of a price point you can do that at. I don't know that there's another one, and not at a $500-600 price point. It definitely stands alone. But you have to sort of be in your mindset, know that that's what you want to do long term. If it isn't, then man, I would take one of the other options. I do like, if you want consistency and you don't want to have to deal with buying a chronograph and learning your shot curve and all that stuff, getting a gun that's regulated makes a lot of sense. Do that. The Macavity is regulated. The Avenge-X, they're regulated. The JTS Airgun Max, regulated. There's a bunch of guns still under that $500 price point that are regulated. So you're still getting good consistency, really good build quality. The DAR is another one. Good build quality, good accuracy, good power. Just, there's so much that you have right to just grab hold on and use right now. It is a great time to be an air gunner. It just is really, really cool. Guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Let me take a swig here. All right. So our next live stream, not sure when it's going to be. I've got next week, I'm going to be out. That week after that, be out. Let's see. What's my calendar? Let me just pull this up really quickly. Let's see here. Calendar. Hello, calendar. Do not know. Okay, so no, next week. Won't be here next week. Won't be here the 25th. The 2nd, I'm probably going to be. I'll be at Daisy Nationals. No, I might be on the road. I don't know. We'll see about the 2nd. I might do it from a hotel room. Don't know. We'll see. So G-Man's saying the prospect is regulated. Well, man, I couldn't find that on the page. I was thinking the price point it should be. You would think that it would be like right there, right? I just went back to that quickly. Hold on just a second. Thank you, G-Man. Oh, there it is right there. I just missed it. Okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense because I'm looking at $400 for a Crosman synthetic rifle. Didn't make sense to me, but that it's regulated. Now that makes sense. Okay. Well, now I'm even more interested in shooting the thing. Boy, that really kind of throws in like a whole nother monkey wrench in, doesn't it? Thank you. Yeah, the DAR is actually really good, Tal. I really like the DAR gun, the Gen 3. I'm not sure what gen they have here. Let's see. It's back here somewhere. I was just wrapping up. Got me sidetracked again. Shiny thing. There it is. Yeah, this rifle's really good. I have it in 25 or 22. I don't remember. It's a nice gun. It's really nice. It's a lot like the Airgun MA2. Just saying, like a whole lot like it, but it's a really nice gun. Okay, back to I'm not sure when I'm going to do the next show. I'm gonna try and do it the second, but I will put something on Facebook. I'll put something in the community post on YouTube. Guys, make sure if you want to get notified on this stuff, you got to like, subscribe. Well, don't like, but subscribe. Be sure to hit the notification bell. If you don't, then you won't get notified. So be sure you do that. If you just subscribed, it doesn't do the notification. So make sure you do that if you want to get notified. And if you're subscribed and you're not getting notifications, double check that setting because you might have subscribed and not clicked the notification. So do that if you want to get notifications. I would like to thank all of our sponsors. You guys can check them out, on our sponsors page here, like on AirgunWeb. And then we have the same sort of thing on the Gateway to Airguns website. We have our sponsors. Our pro tier sponsors that we do videos for actually have their own pages, which is really cool. So you can jump to that and you get to see all the videos we do for those sponsors. So it's pretty cool. And then if you want to check out Airgun Expo and all the stuff we did, you can go to theairgunexpo.com. And if you go to the homepage, you'll get a list of all of the sponsors that helped make that whole show happen. So you can click on any of their links. Like if I click on FX, it's going to take me to Utah's page because that's who they were, some of our sponsors. So you can do that. You can explore, click around, check stuff out. Hopefully you guys will go do that. And, let us know, put comments on the videos as they release. Right now, G-Man saying his notification came 20 minutes late. G-Man, that's because I was like late getting this whole thing done. I just decided at the last minute. I got to be better about getting this whole thing set up like yesterday. That's what I got to do. Anyway, we're going to, well, we've got a few other changes coming. I'm not going to say anything about those right now, but a couple things. If you go to, like AirgunWeb or GTA.com, the .coms, you can sign up for a newsletter. I encourage you to do that because we're going to be making more use of that, scheduling exclusives, fun stuff that's happening that's not going to be listed elsewise. And also Airgun Army is going to be a really good place to get the notifications. And we do have, we have the GTA forum too. So all of these things, pick something. We're going to post all of them. So somewhere you're going to get the notification of what's going on. I'm getting ready to go out of town to the Daisy Nationals. That's always a lot of fun. You have several hundred youngsters competing at a very high level, team competition, shooting competition, which is great. It's just a whole lot of fun, and we enjoy the opportunity to go do that. So we're going to be out. And then we're going to swing over to South Carolina and pick my daughter up because she's going to Civil Air Patrol encampment. So I got to go pick her up, and I'm going to probably go bang on Angie's door and say hi. So little heads up, Angie. Hopefully that's it. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up tonight, guys. But that's going to be it. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, just put them in the comments, shoot me an email, hop on my website, whatever works, and I will do what I can to get stuff out to you guys. That's gonna be it for now. Thank you guys so much. Keith saying says ShipTube always screws him up on notifications. Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic in it, Heath. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for coming up here and hanging out with us, and appreciate your support. Appreciate you watching the videos, and yeah, we'll see you next time. And get on something where you're going to get notified, so that when I release the calendar and schedule and stuff, you guys will get that information. I think the newsletter is going to be a real important function going forward, because we'll have all of our content can be listed there, along with upcoming events and schedules and everything else. So, and I'm going to try and work with our sponsors. If they have specials and that kind of stuff, we'll be able to get them in the newsletter too. So that's our hope. That's our intention. We'll see how it works. For now, that's going to be it. I will see you guys later.